Now, I'm not sure if this is copyright. Now, I know copyright material it's got to be in motion, I believe. Okay? Now this, I've stopped it. I've stopped the video, so it's more of a thumbnail now. But here's the sign. Look at this. Girls, this Highway 16. They call it the Highway of Tears in British Columbia, Canada. North. If you look at Western Canada, I'm saying 500 miles north of the United States border, northwest Canada. It's this Highway of Tears nickname. It's 500 miles long, like I've said 50 times. I mean, look, girls, don't hitchhike on the Highway of Tears. Killer on the loose. Victims. And just a few of them. There's, what did I just say, 18? But, I mean, come on, girl. Look how wood. I mean, it's 500 miles of total virtually total. There's a few towns. That's only 20 foot off the road. That's a sign. Only 20 foot off the road. Man, what do they understand about don't? It don't say boys. It don't say adult. Girls, don't hitchhike on the Highway of Tears, Highway 16. Killer or killers, I don't know why they don't put an S on that. Killers on the loose, not since 1969. Come on, don't. Or you'll end up on this poster or this board. Boy, this is bad.
In the wilds of Canada.
Sorry, the volume ain't. Wilds of Canada. Very lonely. It's Highway 16. Since 1969, 18 girls have been found dead. It's 500 miles of total isolation. They say it's a killer's paradise. They'll never be caught. They haven't. Last one was found in 2006. And if you look at the globe, northwest of the United States, up in Canada, it arches this way, 500 miles. You know, the angle of the road. And they got a sign. If I can get to the sign real quick. Let me skip here a second. There's a sign. Listen. Oh God. He even said, as he was recording this documentary up there, there's a sign or signs that says, do not, big sign, girls, it don't say guys, it says girls, do not hitchhike. It shows the pictures of the victims, and it says killers on the loose, and this shows that in black, bold, the whole sign's big, it shows that in black print. Girls, killers on the loose. Do not hitchhike. And a little red thing up there says warning. And as they was filming this documentary, there was actually girls, and I've seen this in another video, there's still girls hitchhiking, and as they was filming this documentary, they seen a girl hitchhiking, and a car stopped and picked her up. They seen her thumb. As they was filming this documentary, a girl, he actually turns around and says she just got picked up by a car. It's as if the sign doesn't even appear. And the sign's 20 feet off the road. Oh my God, they still do it. Well, they're asking for trouble. And they do it at night. This is what this right here is about. They do it at night. I mean, they set up there. They set up there the reason why there's so many hitchhikers. You know, Canada ain't like the United States. I guess there ain't a lot of jobs. And they ain't got no money up there because there ain't a lot of jobs, and they ain't got no bus line. And there's only option is to hitchhike. But boy, I tell you what, you're taking a heck of a chance. Beautiful, but so God, it's British Columbia.
Along the Highway of Tears.
Listen to this. I can't show you copyright. Listen.
Steelhead and salmon fishing going on.
Beautiful. Oh man, the fishing looks fun. I got some cousins went up there to fish, and they said it's wonderful. Then he turns around here, angles, and he looks at the road, highway.
The disappearance of many young girls and the murder and sexual assault of many more. So in one respect, you have paradise over my shoulder.
Yeah.
But you know what? When I look at that highway,
There's a highway.
I
It's Yellowhead West 16. They call it nickname Highway of Tears. But God, I mean, why in the... There's small towns as you travel through. There's small towns, but it's all wooded. I mean, even in these towns, there's trees for by the motels. And they've never been caught. And you don't see no law enforcement. Reminds me of southeastern Kentucky, the Appalachian Mountains. You don't see no law enforcement. That's why I call Goshen a city.
We're talking attractive young women.
Yeah.
Mostly teenagers and mostly hitchhikers.
Ain't that bad? They're asking for it.
Bodies that have been found were dumped not far from the highway.
Well, there ain't no law.
All the cases are unsolved.
Yeah. I mean, there ain't no law up there. I mean, he drove it. He stops, gets out of his car. There's traffic. If he was a killer, let the traffic go by. You know, unless you get unlucky, there's a hunter or somebody nearby, but there's 500 miles is total isolation. But, you know, traffic goes by, you just take the body and just dump it, or dump her 15, 20 feet off the road. Well, no wonder it's a killer's paradise. It makes the Appalachian Mountains in Kentucky and their wilderness look like nothing.
One serial killer?
Oh, they know there's several serial killers because one of the killers, of course, from another case, one of the killers died in prison, and there's still girls dying, so they know there's several serial killers, and he's interviewing on the phone killers from prison to get their opinion because they've actually killed before. It shows them handcuffing them in prison and taking them to the phone. He's actually, if I could get to that, I ain't got much time, and I'm low on battery power. But he actually talked to real not killers, real serial killers on the phone. And you can hear him talking to him, and to ask their professional opinion because they've did it so many times. Help us out here, and probably in prison, they're probably if they help them out on the phone, they're probably, I'm guessing, extra privileges in prison. I don't know, but these. That was my alarm clock going off. Listen what he says here.
Yeah, they're looking, their eyes are...
Listen to this.
Please help us.
Listen to this.
That's the vibe, the feeling I'm getting.
He's talking to a crime, what do you call him? He wrote a book or something, this other guy. Can't think of his name, but he's been in the business 20 plus years. And he's getting his advice. And truck drivers, nothing personal, but the truck drivers run it all the time, and they think, beautiful bridge, beautiful country. I mean, no wonder they hitchhike the country. It's beautiful, but God, it's nice highway.
13 murdered and 5 missing.
And he's the Canadian Mounted Police. It's early. That's why I messed up. It's early. And I'm out with it in the morning. Hear that? Did you hear what he just said? White one.
He's got 75 people working it.
75. I hope my hand ain't covering the microphone because I'm holding this thing from underneath. Did you catch that? 75. He's got 75.
Staff Sergeant Wayne Cleary.
He's got 75 Canadian police working it every day to solve it for 5 years, and it ain't no closer.
The investigation's been going on
Listen.
for about 5 years.
Listen to this.
To get this thing started, we had over 700 banker boxes of information.
Man, well, no wonder.
Investigations alone.
And them killers know they're never going to be caught.
Is about as hard as it gets.
Well, I would say it would be a stranger-to-stranger attack, which are the toughest cases to solve.
Yeah.
Generally, there's no witnesses involved, other than the...
I love their accent.
Very difficult.
There's a dramatization.
There is stranger-to-stranger attack. That's
Well, who in their right mind, even if you're desperate, they said what killers know. They're picking her up at night. What killers, they said, know after you walk a highway that you know is 500 miles long, whether you're a girl, lady, man, girl, it doesn't matter, and they're walking and they're in their young teens when they're doing this. I don't know if you caught that or not. When they're walking, you're walking a road that you know is 500 miles long. A car pulling up beside you is transportation, and you're taking your chances. But it shows them, and this is midnight. It shows them, a girl by herself in her teens, a dramatization being picked up. It's just a dramatization, but they're actually doing it middle of the night, being picked up by a stranger on a road that's 500 miles long, Highway 16, Highway of Tears in British Columbia. It's 500 miles, if you caught that or not, north of the United States. Northwest, that's Northwest Canada, by the way. Man, they take chances.
We're very much alive to the potential of a serial killer or a group of killers.
They don't know how many.
I don't believe there's one serial killer, but until we actually can come out and say definitively, we're just keep our minds open to any possibility.
Are these killers here, or this killer, smart or just lucky?
What? Oops, I cut it off too early. What he's saying here, well, I'll let you listen to what he's saying, is a lot of truth. One of the reasons why the killers have never been caught, listen to what he says why. Take it just a second. Bear with me.
One serial killer, but until we actually can come out
Listen what he says here.
We're just keep our minds open to any possibility.
This is what he says. He's asking us.
Are these killers here, or this killer, smart or just lucky?
And listen to what he says here.
Perhaps combination of both.
That's what I said before, other day.
They're private about
They're
what they've done.
quiet about it.
And perhaps that's what's.
I think what gets a lot of them caught, they talk. If you're a serial killer and you don't say a damn thing to nobody, you'll never be caught, especially up there. It's just if you're a lady hitchhiking up there by yourself, even with another girl, you need your head examined. I'm watching it. I can't show you because of copyright, but it makes the Appalachian Mountains in southeastern United States, around Kentucky especially, look like a city. I mean, if you're hitchhiking, even a guy. Listen what he says here. Listen to this.
And the other thing that's protecting these killers? The wilderness.
Oh yeah.
5 of these girls have never been found.
Boy.
You don't have to drive too
Listen.
far on the Highway of
Listen.
Tears before you start to feel lonely.
Oh God, man.
We're in the middle of nowhere out here. I haven't seen a gas station in miles.
Listen to that. Oh, it's just isolated. Beautiful though.
Right now.
Beautiful.
Looking for a guy like this?
No wonder my cousins go up there fishing. That's my.
It's like seeing
Listen.
a school of salmon running up the river and try to pick one of them out.
Hear that? Alarm.
They all look like seeing
Listen.
a school of salmon running up the river.
Hunting for a killer is
try
right.
to pick one of them out.
That's what he's saying about a killer.
They all look the same.
See? Yeah.
It's gotta
Everything
be
looks the
like
same.
Anybody driving down this
Could be
road.
anybody. You care what she's. Is
This
it?
place is more than wilderness. There
This,
are people living here.
Yeah.
Tight-knit communities.
nice little towns.
Their daughters who are gone. And they've been dodging
Beautiful
serial
towns.
killers.
Canada's beautiful. I mean, I hate to say it this way. Prettier United States in some areas.
Still to come.
Hear that? That's a real serial killer.
Hitchhiking advice from a serial killer.
They're talking to him actually. They're actually talking to him from prison. They got permission. He got permission to talk to an actual serial killer from prison. It shows them handcuffing him. It shows him putting the real serial killer from the prison. It shows the wardens, whoever, putting handcuffs on him and take him to a phone in the prison. And I guess my guess would be if you help these guys out, they're not with the law enforcement. They're just, this one guy's wrote a book, but if you help them out, we'll give you extra privileges in prison, I'm guessing, to get the serial killers to talk. But these serial killers are giving them their advice because these serial killers have killed before. They've did it. And they're actually telling them, what's going to happen next. And they said like 98, 99% accuracy. Because some of the information they haven't told to the actual killer in prison on the phone. They haven't told him. And when he's questioning him or he's asking him for his advice is matching the evidence or whatever they got information. So they know he's telling their killer, they got one. They know the killer's telling the truth. But he's actually from prison talking on the phone. Man. He won't believe.
Wednesday, September 21st.
I won't go into what one of the.
It's just another day on Canada's notorious Highway of Tears.
And here's a 22-year-old dramatization.
Woman is out hitchhiking.
God.
Alone.
22 years old. Jeez. And a truck. Nothing personal to truck drivers, but a truck driver, 18-wheeler's picking her up. Oh my God! She might as well stick a gun to her head and shoot herself. I hate to say it that way, but she's never found. Listen to this. Her body's never found. Nothing. You just heard it.
She was spunky as a child.
It's her aunt.
She was a little spoiled. She was funny.
Man.
She was quite the character.
I ain't gonna say on camera what one of the serial killers said about a knife. They asked him about a knife, and the serial killer's trying to help him out. Like I said, I don't know. I'm guessing he gets extra privileges in prison. Would be my guess, or else they wouldn't talk, right? But they was asking him about the stabbing. What's going on with the unknown killer's mind? And the serial killer from prison is actually telling him about the knife, why he's doing it with the knife. I can't tell you on camera, but because he used a knife too. And he's actually telling them why they're using a knife, and I can't say that on camera. The aunt here that they're interviewing, she was attacked in the 70s, but she escaped. The door lock, she just happened to grab the door lock. He happened to have a seatbelt on, and she happened to push. It was electric doors. And she just happened to push it, and the door popped up. The electric helped her out here, the door, and she escaped from him. And an elderly couple picked her up. She's the only one who's known to escape and to see him. Could be more. Could be, more than one. Yeah, nobody can hear you scream. Hate to say it. That old saying, the long arms of the law, not up there. No. The long arms of the law up there is tied up.
Is going home to see her parents.
I mean, it's bad enough, people. It would be bad enough for me to see a girl hitchhiking State Route 28 here in Goshen, Ohio, Claremont County. If I've never seen a girl hitchhike, but if I would see a girl hitchhike, I think she's out of her mind. But to do it up there in 500 miles of total wilderness, man, you gotta be desperate as all get out. My God, I mean, Jesus, it makes you nervous watching it. Well, listen to this. My battery's about dying. Listen.
It does scare me when a young girl is going home to see her parents.
He's a Canadian.
No buses. She doesn't have money for a taxi.
No buses.
She has her whole life ahead of her. She sticks her thumb out the freeway, and then she's never heard again. That scares me in any community.
It's mounted police. Hitchhiking.
Most of these victims were last seen hitchhiking before they disappeared. And yeah, we all know that's dangerous. But up here, things are different.
Up there is totally different.
They don't have a lot of cash. They don't have cars, especially young people. And there's no alternative. There's no bus, no subway.
I can get on a bike. I would.
They used to hitchhike up there quite regularly. That's where my family is.
And they say they're hitchhiking all the time, even right now. And there's signs posted.
It's only available once a day.
Once a day. That's all the bus is. Oh my God, it's so wilderness. It's making me sick.
The warning's right there. Girls, don't hitchhike. And yet they still do it.
Listen to this.
This billboard is what?
20 feet?
20 feet from Highway 16. There's a killer on the loose. It says it right there.
Listen what he said.
Still do it.
Listen what he says here.
It's out of necessity that they do it. And you know what? No one believes they're going to be killed by a serial killer.
Now they're going to the prison.
But serial killers love hitchhikers.
Hear that? Hear the phone ring?
Raven loved hitchhikers.
He's a serial killer in prison on the phone. There's a trend that goes with hitchhiking, and I'm quoting, people that have no cars. They're moving from one area to another. Don't have documentation usually. They're free on their feet. They're not just easy targets. They're people that are convenient.
Convenient. Were your victims convenient?
This is what he says here. My victims came along when they came along. There's a thing called karma or fate. I didn't put them there, and they didn't put me there. I'm quoting. It's just something that's happened. People that hitchhike, their lives are in danger the moment they step out on that road. He's a real serial killer. Whether they want to take a chance or not, there's up to them. He's a real serial killer. That's actually did it. And he loved hitchhikers. They caught him though. Not, probably from another case.
It's often the victim's fault. Just like it's the baby zebra's fault
Man.
for walking in front of a lion.
Jesus.